Hello and welcome to the 2023 American Gold Cup presented by Great Lakes Sports Commission. Competing for this golden trophy here, and alongside me is Michael Morrissey, who's competed for this on a number of occasions. It's a very special cup.
It is a special cup indeed. I think the most important cup in American show jumping, and you can tell by all the names on there that we've had a lot of good riders competing here and winning that trophy.
You've competed in this over the years as well. Plenty of inspirations, I would think, on this list.
Absolutely. I grew up being a student of the game, student of the sport, really watching this class since at a very young age. I've been lucky enough to compete in it a few times, and but you see all the names. There's a lot of great riders that have competed and won this event.
Absolutely, from Michael Matz to Rodney Jenkins to Ann Kaczynski, and of course in recent times double winners like Kent Farrington, who's in the field today, and Shane Sweetenham defending. We've got 7 of the world's top 20 here. It's not going to be easily given away this week.
No, 7 of the world's top 20 is a great mark. We have great course designing. Alan Wade, great jumps. It's going to be a strong field and an exciting finish.
Absolutely, and makes its home again now in Traverse City.
Yeah, no better place, great weather, great place. I'm excited to watch some great show jumping.
Looking forward to it. Big prize money and a big title on the line here in Michigan as we take you very shortly onto commentary of this year's American Gold Cup. The American Gold Cup, over 50 years of tradition, and a winners list that includes the sporting greats. 5-time winner Rodney Jenkins, and with the great Idle Dice. Starting out in 1970 in Cleveland, it's visited some of the great cities and spots to packed crowds around America. 4-time winner Michael Matz, with a fabulous jet run included as one of the top horses of the lifetime as a winner on the trophy. Melanie Smith-Taylor winning through the 70s and 80s on 3 occasions. From Tampa through to Philadelphia to Devon and the JFK Stadium, it's been a venue that's been packed out with crowds to watch the show jumpers in action. Ann Kaczynski, the Olympian, 4-time winner, putting her name on the trophy through the 90s. Recent winners including Olympic gold medalist Beezy Mann, but a long stretch of wins from 89 to 2019 has another shot this year. One of the most stylish in Brianne Gautal-Marteau, a 2-time winner on the trophy, and another US Olympian in Kent Farrington, 2 wins including in the 50th anniversary year. The most recent winner coming from Ireland, and one of the world's top 10 in Shane Sweetenham and James Can Cruz, as Shane goes for the trophy once again. Who will lift the golden trophy in 2023? Well, let's take a look at who competes this year for the American Gold Cup, presented by the Great Lakes Sports Commission. And a roll through, starting off with the former champion in Richie Maloney and Cocoa Beach. Natalie Dean, US rider in recent years as part of their team. Olympian Beat Madley for Switzerland adds to the field. And some young faces in there too, with some new ones with Hallie Grimes and Chiqueto PS going to be part of our early 10 in the order. And through, it's going to see some familiar faces as well, looking to put their name on the trophy, maybe for a first time, maybe for a second time. Carl Cook has gone close before now, but not quite yet. He goes 14th in the order for the US rider with Caracol. And then down to Grand Prix winner here previously, Callie Schott and Garrett, but not yet for that American Gold Cup. Second before now, Paul O'Shea also in the field, 2-time winner Kent Farrington, and Greer look for a 3rd title. The defending champion Shane Sweetenham out of the blue for Ireland, go 26th. And McLean Ward surprisingly never won this American Gold Cup. This year challenges Kimi Delmesset. And finally, the man who won the recent Hampton Classic Grand Prix, and that is Daniel Blumen and Ladriano Z. Our grand jury in position, headed up by President John Rush, joined by Keith Bullitt and then Jerry Koo, Ralph Alfano and Philippe Rosan of Canada, and Mathilde Neret is our foreign judge this week. We'll take a look too at the rundown of form for this class with a former winner as well as we look over this wonderful site here in Traverse City, as Shane Sweetnam will give us a guide on what to expect for this year's event.
Well, Shane, we are just moments away here from the American Gold Cup, but looking down the list, of course, you know, former winner yourself last year, how do you rate your chances and who are you particularly looking out for today?
I think I have a strong chance. The mare's only 9 out of the blue, and she's only done a couple of 5-stars, but was second in Vancouver in the 5-star Grand Prix there, so I'm hoping we have a good chance. If you look through the list, Daniel Blumen is really on a hot streak. He's last to go. I think he's got to be the favourite. McLean Ward has saved his horse for this class, and he's always really dangerous. He was second in this last year, and I think he's always wanted to win the Gold Cup, and he hasn't won the Gold Cup, so maybe today's his day.
What about Garant and Callie Shot? Because the horse has won before. She's won a Grand Prix here with this before.
Yeah, very good horse. Has been very consistent. It was double clear here in the Grand Prix last week, so it knows the place and it's very comfortable, so she has a good shot.
And the likes of Dara Kenny we've got here as well. You know, we have 7 of the world's top 20, of course, including yourself here this week.
Yeah, Dara is a brilliant rider and he always has a chance, so you can't count him out. You know, it's a very strong field as we'd expect for the Gold Cup.
Something I wanted to ask you as well, we've got quite a few younger horses in the field. Of course, you're on one as well. How do you rate their chances?
It's about experience, really. You know, they have the water and the wall and everything today. So, like say for my mare, it's about learning. Yes, she has a chance to go clear. And the same with all those younger horses. It's always a step up, and it's always an experience. That's why these older horses have a bit more of a chance of winning this class. But you know, they're talented horses, and hopefully they can get it done.
Best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, let's take a look at the course set by Alan Wade, our course designer here once again. The man who's designed World Cup finals and World Championships. Starting over the Premier Oxa. Long run down to the Major League show jumping wall, but it's a big one at 158 very early on in the course. Then it is a turn back to the triple bar, to the Swans at fence 3, 155 in height, 190 in width down this line to a double that again could cause some issues. Black and white double there, 165 in spread, 1 metre 55 on the way out. Then a line right across the centre, the Cabana Coast vertical. Then at 5 up to the water at 6, 3 metres 70 there across the splash. And then to a rustic at fence 7 and a little narrowed in fence, which is going to make this really interesting as well. Makes it that little bit different. Roll back then to the Liverpool at fence 8 at the Skyline fence at 150, 1 metre 65. 4 strides up to a black plank at the next at fence 9 at a full on 1 metre 60. The American Gold Cup fence at 153, 165. And then to the triple combination at 11A, B and C. 1 metre 55 on the way in. 7 metres 90 is the one stride, and 8 metres 10 on the way out there to 158 vertical on the way out. Fence 12, again a 160 vertical at the Liberty Bell. And then down the final line to the Major League Skinny and 6 strides up to the last to the Oxa to complete the course for round 1 with a time allowed of
The Great Lakes
81
Sports Commission
seconds
promotes
around this
Michigan
track.
as a premier sports destination. As a valued partner of Traverse City Horse Shows, the Commission, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and the Traverse City Tourism were instrumental in bringing the American Gold Cup to Traverse City for its 50th anniversary. Now in its 53rd year, the prestigious American Gold Cup calls Northern Michigan its home. We thank the Sports Commission for helping us elevate the region as a global equestrian destination.
Well, I'm delighted to welcome to this year's American Gold Cup
our honour guard, honouring the great country here, the men and women who serve, protect and defend each day and every day, first responders and military. And as the crowd rise for the welcoming of our honour guard here this afternoon, the combined colours of the honour guard are the nation's colours and local flags. The guard is represented by Michigan State Troopers, Grand Traverse County Sheriff Office, Grand Traverse County Metro Fire, the Traverse City Police Department, the United States Air Force and the Air and Army National Guard here this afternoon.
Today to bring our American Gold Cup trophy into the ring,
and as the honour guard take position, we then all get set to welcome in the trophy. It's being brought in by a lady who leads little introduction in the equestrian world to Beezie Madden. Beezie carrying the American Gold Cup and the Olympic gold medalist with three-time winner of the American Gold Cup. Beezie having won on 3 different locations in 3 different positions in terms of horses, and it was in 1989 on Northern Magic that she won, 2010 on Coral Reef Via Volo, and 2019 on Garant, as she brings the trophy in to place it ready for them to compete on here this afternoon. She's one of the most decorated riders in American jumping history, and delighted to have Beezie to start off proceedings here for this year's American Gold Cup. And they'll welcome out the anthem singer here this afternoon, who is Rick Stewart, a musician known for his work as a worship leader at New Hope Church and vocalist with the Bay Area Band. And here on behalf of non-profit partner Accelerate the Care, our anthem singer here this afternoon here in Traverse City.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, thank you to our singer, to Rick Stewart, and to Sergeant Angela Hicks, who brings us today's Honour Guard as they move off, and we ready for today's American Gold Cup, brought to you by the Great Lakes Sports Commission here on a wonderful, perfect afternoon here in Traverse City as our colours move off and we prepare to do our own competition and battle for the afternoon with this wonderful trophy entering its 53rd year of history. And our thanks to our Honour Guard, skies up above looking good, we're nearly set to go. Well, here we go, and ready for today's American Gold Cup, presented by the Great Lakes Sport Commission. Alongside me is a man you saw a little bit earlier on, and that is Michael Morrissey. As I mentioned earlier, he's competed in this a number of times over the years. He's very familiar with the site here in Traverse City as well. And Michael, our first up is a former winner of the trophy. That was back in 2015. In fact, the first non-American to lift the trophy here as well is Richie Maloney of Wellington, Florida these days, but the Irishman with the Casale side at Cocoa Beach. Finished well in Ottawa recent weeks. And Alan Wade, our course designer, here this week for the great history of this event that goes back to Cleveland in 1970. Michael, your first initial thoughts on the course here?
Well, I think a five-star event, you expect a big course from Alan Wade, and that's exactly what we got. It's a demanding course. It's big. It's scopy. Jumps are really placed well. It's a good use of the ring, and it's going to be an exciting day of show jumping.
Certainly is, and well, we give you the full order of 31 in all that we'll see in the first round of this $475,000 class, the American Gold Cup 5-star for 2023. Rich in history and certainly deep in ability of what's coming up for our class now. So Cocoa Beach and former winner Richie Maloney starts us off. Several former winners in the field as well, with the likes of Kent Farrington, two-time winners to come up a little later. But Michael, let's talk through these first few. He gets you right into the meat of this with a pretty big wall early on.
Yeah, right at fence number 2. It's set a little bit on a mid-distance there. It's 7 or 8 strides. We saw Richie do the 7. Come around as a triple bar at fence number 3 to a little bit of an active, steady 5 to this double. It's an oxer vertical 1 stride. And then we have the water line starts here at fence number 5. It's 6 strides. Richie rode that well. And that should be a steady 7 here. Fence number 7, it's actually an oxer. It's meter 55 high. Interesting, not many times you see an oxer set after a water jump. So Liverpool oxer, very short forward of this plank. Riders have the option to do 7 or 8 strides to the American Gold Cup oxer. And the triple combination is set vertical, oxer, vertical, 1 stride, 1 stride.
And it almost gets a little bit short in that 1 stride at the start.
Exactly. A to B set a little bit short. Scopy, it's 5 short strides to a Liverpool at fence number 12. And then our last line here is 13, 14, active 6. And Richie is making this course look easy.
He certainly is. He's doing a very good job. 79.69 first to go gives us a clear, but that can be a little bit deceptive as we've seen already this week. But Richie Maloney cruises around there for the clear for the former winner. Little look back at the water here, handles that well, and set back to the American Gold Cup fence. Triple combination, as you really saw in the center there, needed real spring.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Richie's horse jumped great. That was a wonderful ride. Walking this course, you did not think that this track was going to be simple at all. His horse jumped beautiful. I think the only fence he really rubbed there was C of the triple. Time allowed looked good.
I'm going to roll the dice though, because Alan Wade's very good at that, and we often sort of get an early clear. You think, okay, we're in the safe zone, and then he'll start to see poles dropping in all directions. So won't get too comfortable yet, but hopefully we could see another one with this lady, and it's Alessandra Volpi. Alex from Woodside, California, with Grasso de Péchy is the mare by Tinker's Boy. And she's actually been one of the younger riders this year, been competing on the US teams very successfully over in Europe as well, including in Falsterbo, also on the squad at Spruce Meadows a week or so ago. She actually finished 4th here back in 2021 on a very good horse called Belinda. Now, she just had to shake things up a bit down there.
A little bit. You saw the wall came down at fence number 2. Alessandra decided to do 8 strides. It walked either a direct 7 or a wide 8. Richie did the 7. Alessandra did the 8. Maybe just got it done a hair late, had that done down.
Roll back here on the 4.
And this is a big oxer with a Liverpool underneath it, and then it's a very short forward to the plank.
And there it goes. When we talked about this course, that was sort of expected, but that's what he's set there for you, hasn't he? You've got to get back off that.
Yeah, and you can't take that oxer for granted. It's big, it's wide, it's got the Liverpool underneath it. It's a triple combination. Bit of trouble coming in there. Has A and B down. That's number 13, that meter 60 vertical, big oxer, steady 6 strides to the last.
Well, it's going to be a total of 20. They're inside the time, okay, at 77.03. But it is a few down there for Alex. And a little of what we're talking about here, that first part of the triple combination, if you're in trouble at the first part, you really are in trouble for the second.
Yeah, it's a big triple combination. The vertical coming in is meter 55. It's set a little bit short, in my opinion, there from A to B with a really wide, big oxer. So I think you don't want to come in with too much pace and be on top of B, but you also have to place yourself well coming in, steady coming out.
Juan Ortiz and Catch the Dark Zed for the Venezuelan rider. Bronze medal actually for the teams this year for him at the Central American Games, and looking forward to the likes of the Pan Am Games coming up in the next few weeks. World Championship rider in 2018. He's actually based here in the US, down in Florida. Catch the Dark Zed is a very actually brand new ride for him by Kotoki, and was ridden by Lauren Fisher, who owns the horse as well. So going to be really interesting to see how they fare here. Juan, who's been back after a long time off actually with ACL surgery too. He spent much of the winter on crutches rehabbing for that, but he's now back in the ring, and wishing him the best here. Now let's see how they get on into this double. A little bit more attacking there from them.
And that one was quite short. We saw Juan do 9 strides from 1 to 2, so now of our 3 riders, they've all done a different number to that second jump to the wall. We've seen 7, 8, and 9. 7 strides to that oxer after the water. I think for most that will be 7, if not all. There's that big Liverpool oxer. He does, I think he had that front rail down. Short 4 had that plank down as well. So same with 8 faults.
But again, for a very new combination coming into this, they're actually so far this is a very good round, and this will be a telling point.
That front rail, that oxer coming down, and see, you really need to get your horse back before that triple combination. It comes up quick. It's the end of the course. Your horse is on a little bit of a bigger stride at that point. Skinny vertical, that's set at meter 60 and only 3 rails, very airy. That's going to be a very tough vertical for the horses to jump clear at the end of the course.
Now 20 jumping plus 1 time there for Juan Ortiz and Catch the Dark Zed. But as I say, I'm going to put that back in perspective, Michael, from that point of view. You know, that's the biggest thing they've jumped together by a long way.
Absolutely. This is a real deal 5-star course. Yeah. Richie went in there first horse and made it look quite simple, but it is definitely not. I know a lot of the riders walking this course were a bit worried. It's a lot of track.
It's a lot of track. Margie Goldstein-Engel is very used to that, and Margie was second here back in 2018. She's won almost more Grand Prix than anyone, I think, in the US, over 200 anyway, and she's well up there. This is the Gladewins, Garber and Bartolome's Dicas by Diorado, and surprisingly, she, like McLean Ward, has never won the American Gold Cup, so this is one that lingers out there for both of them, just saying,
that is just
why
so
not?
hard to believe that both Margie and McLean have not won the American Gold Cup, the oldest Grand Prix, most history in America, American show jumping, and it eludes probably 2 of the most successful show jumpers of our time.
There's a chance today. They've always got a chance at it. So maybe today is the one where we break the duck, as we say. Let's see.
This is an interesting approach.
Yeah, she's got a different way.
She's doing a short rollback left turn on number 1.
What do you think the thinking's there?
You know, maybe it's to help with the 8 strides. Maybe your horse is just simply better off the left lead. Maybe it needed to catch his attention early if she thought she'd come back on a shorter rollback. So far it worked out.
So far it's worked out, absolutely. Now the line up to the water. Now when we walked this, we thought this actually ought to ride quite well.
Yeah, I thought it was positioned well. You can bend it a little bit so that you can put a little shape and ride up the 6 strides. The 7 is nicely steady to that oxer. I think it's how you would want it to be, really. I think the more difficult line is this 4 right there to that plank. I mean, it is very short. This, if you walked, you probably would walk thinking doing 8, but on this footing, in this ring over the big jumps, most horses are just doing a nice 7. This triple is going to be tough all day. Margie Indigo's handled it very well. There's a steady 5 to the Liverpool.
And again, like Alan Wade's courses, there are times in here you need power and times you need patience.
Absolutely. That was a great ride.
Yeah, shame she's going to come home on the 4 there for Marge Engel and Decaz. Tight up line down there that she had down, Michael. But I mean, it's a big horse as well.
Yeah, big horse. That's a short stride. I think she got a pretty big oxer coming in. But overall, very good round. And she has a nice time, 77.07 seconds with 4 faults. You'd think maybe, you know, that will get a nice piece of it when all said and done.
But I hate to say, playing a little bit like I talked about, you know, it's deceptive seeing Richie's early clear.
I think it's definitely deceptive. We're gonna have a lot of show jumping today, and a lot of rails for sure are gonna come down. But it's a nice track.
Last year we saw 3 clears in this class. I'm also going to throw in the fact the order for the first round of this Grand Prix as well comes from how they've performed over the last 2 days, so that's taken into effect. So the last few riders in here have been the best performers, so the form riders come at the end. Still, these riders have jumped some good rounds all week, and on the course now is Caitlin Campbell of the USA and EMEA for the SWS training sales of Temecula down in California.
We saw that short left turn to fence number 1 as well by Caitlin. She did I believe she did the direct 7 there to the wall. This looks like a horse with a very big stride. Unfortunately, does have B the double down.
Again, down that line, if you start travelling a bit, if you like, if you start to get a bit too much momentum, you're going to get in real trouble there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's short, that double. Yeah. It's on that 5 stride. That 5 stride is riding a little bit steady, not much after that triple bar, but I think the real problem there is B, and then we saw fence number 5, that meter 60 vertical before the water jump come down. That 4 is proving to be almost impossible. I think that the bigger, scopier, larger strided horses are going to have a harder time today at that jump for sure.
So again, you're looking for something that's got maybe a little bit more sporty, a little bit more adjustability.
You need adjustability in that line for sure. If you have a big strided, big scopy horse, you have to really try and get them to land shallow off that oxer and work hard the first 2 strides.
Well, time is going to tick away as well. It's 20 for jumping, and it's going to be 84.10, 24 in total for Caitlin Campbell and Amia in the end. And so Richie Maloney's clear is holding like a beacon on top at the moment. But again, the plank comes down on the 4 stride distance, and that's proving short. A little skinny towards the end. That's delicate as well. And so it takes the score up for Caitlin, I'm afraid.
You know, it's a lot of delicate verticals out there today, and some very wide oxers mixed in. So it's a little bit, you need the scope, you need the carefulness and the quickness.
So basically you need a full toolbox.
Yep.
Simple as that. Natalie Dean, Con Calma. And again, a newer ride for her, and so this one for the Marigold Sport Horses, and is the 10-year-old for the Californian rider. Had wins here previously. She was on the squad for the US several times this season, very successfully, including just a couple of weeks ago, in fact a week ago in Spruce Meadows. Won here back in August as well. Competed well over in Europe. And Natalie this year as well. Ooh. I was about to say how well it's gone, but unfortunately that's the sport. That's how quickly it can come apart. Both A-OK. Natalie, I think, just her air jacket's gone off, so she's just sitting for a moment. Horse is absolutely fine. And unfortunately, the Lego bricks all go tumbling down.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. I think Natalie was, trying to do that forward 7 up to the wall, and maybe horse might have just been backing up a hair and got there on that half stride. But both horse and rider seem to be up and okay.
Yeah, both absolutely fine. Con Calma standing stock still in the arena, just unperturbed by it really. And Natalie just now undone her air jacket and just hitching up the stirrups, and all fine. So we'll just see them. Yeah, there they go, walking out, absolutely okay. But unfortunate for them. I mean, it's not a nice feeling when you get to that spot and you're looking at a big wall like that.
No, that's definitely difficult. And no, that's a different type of wall, one that we don't see very often. And for some horses, they definitely will back off of that. I think Natalie's horse probably was backing off a little bit there in the end.
And the way that we've got a good shot of it there, but the way they've put the big major league wings on either side as well, it suddenly looks like the side of a house.
Yeah, definitely does. On a good note for Natalie, she did win the High Amateur Classic this morning, which was very, very difficult. Only 2 clear rounds, and she rode an amazing round there and was very fast in the jump off. So,
but again, shows the highs and lows of the sport. You've been through it.
Sure does.
Jacob Hope and Highway FBH for the Highway group by Plot Blue, this Dutch-bred 10-year-old mare. And Jacob, really interesting ride to see here. He's been busy over in the Hunter Rings just a few minutes ago, actually, in the Hunter Derby there as well. He's a brilliant rider, has come through in the Hunters and the Jumpers nationally last year, then stepped up into the 5 stars with this horse, which has been a real success story as well. Been really consistent as a pairing. Actually went over to Europe in the early part of the season, competing in the Nations Cup there. That's the team competitions for each nation. Over in Norway, in Drammen, and in Denmark as well. Went very well down in Wellington, Florida, in that hotbed of sport in the early part of the year too, and finished well here in August. Trains with Ivan Rakowski, and they're very much part of the scene here at Traverse City, very much involved in the show, but also spend much of their summer here too. And so this is familiar territory for them, but again, all the time to step up with this horse, but they've really gone so well.
They really have. They have a great partnership. They formed last year, I think last summer, and they've really hit it off. They have some great results, like you said. They showed in Europe, did their first Nations Cup. Very careful horse. You see, really jumps high up in the air. Jacob doing the wide 8, but using that forward momentum to still carry himself over the wall. So he's really getting a good gallop up to the triple bar. This horse is very careful and jumps well out of the gallop. Good ride there to the water. You see the horse gave a little extra try in the air.
Nice and balanced down to the rustic. And actually they've jumped that well so far. You and I talked about the fact he narrowed that up. It's only 1.30 m in width, and when you're expecting some of these big fences to be 1.65. Now he also jumped that tight line well as well. Whoa!
He sure did. You see he's really moving. He's keeping that forward pace. It's a very careful horse. Oh, shoot. That's a shame. Thought Jacob gave it a good ride into the triple. Unfortunately, just had that rail down behind. We see that delicate American Gold Cup vertical with just 3 rails comes down as well, so it will be 8 faults.
Yeah, it's going to be 8 on the scorecard for Jacob Hope. Time, as you say, 73.28. Flew around there from that point of view. Got that tough 4-stride line just right. Just looked as though they were coming through the triple combination, just needing that extra little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think, maybe the speed and all that caught up to him a little bit at the end, but Jacob knows that horse jumps well out of the gallop. He wanted to stay on that gallop.
Well, this one won't be slow either. It's Ashley Bond and Donatello, and originally from California, these days based down in Florida, for the Olympian and World Championship rider. And for those that have seen this pair before, they are always swift. Grand Prix winners on many occasions, including this year at the historic Devon Grand Prix as well. Won in Monterrey in Mexico last year too. And this should be an experienced pair to handle this.
It definitely is. Ashley's a real competitor. Impressive rider, always quick.
And again, she rides aggressively at that line.
She does. She had, you know, the horse maybe doesn't have the biggest stride, so she didn't have to steady there as hard as some of the other horses. Same thing to that plank. Actually, that's a nice line for that horse. Balance up. She rode into that triple very well. Just 2 more jumps to go after this vertical.
One clear on the board so far from Richie Maloney. Will it be a second with Ashley Bond? Time is going to be absolutely fine. She's cruised round. And there to a big roar too. It is Ashley Bond to try and follow up on that Devon Grand Prix win this season as well, as she gives us the second clear of this American Gold Cup presented by Great Lakes Sport Commission. Impressive through this triple combination.
Impressive all the way through. I think Ashley gave it a great ride. I think it's a good horse for, or good course for this horse. It was very well suited. And she was able to keep that nice pace all the way around and give it a really good ride and really spectacular clear round for them.
Well, on to one of the most stylish in the sport in Beat Manley of Switzerland. Spends a large part of his time too here in the US. Olympic silver medalist in 2000, former winner of the World Cup final. Won over here in the US, the likes of Washington in the World Cup there. Finished 7th here last year with just the 4 faults, and with his partner right the way through to Olympic level, Desari, for Beat and the Grant Road Partners of New York. So, door is open. 2 clears out of our first 8. But again, looking at both of those we had the clears from, that is definitely not unexpected from those. I mean, Ashley Bond, Donatello, 11th place at the Olympic Games. They should handle this well. Beat Desarion, the experienced 15-year-old, going to be really interesting to see how these do, because Beat's been a little bit quieter competition-wise this year.
We see this is another horse with a really big stride. Yeah, it's really one of the most stylish riders, I think, out there. Ooh, a little rub at the back rail. The triple bar does stay up. I just think Beat's one of the smoothest riders out there. Just everything always seems to show up just right for him. He got his horse to land so soft after the water, he could just canter nicely down there in 7 strides.
He just came more like a hunter rat coming down there.
That's what it looked like. Regular working hunter over that meter 55 oxer. Big strided horse, but he got that horse to land nice and soft there.
Yeah.
So he was able to catch that plank just nice. He hunts down to that American Gold Cup oxer. Reel it in here a little bit. Super ride there. He's just got 2 to go. This is a tough vertical to jump clear.
He's on the 4 though.
Oh, where did we have 4?
I think he's in the water. I think it might have been so soft he just called that 78.94, and just on the 4 for Beat Manley and Desari.
I didn't even see it.
It was at the water.
Oh, that's a shame. That was a beautiful round.
Looks back himself, feeling like I'm sure I got the other side of it, but the plasticine will tell you. Close on it.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Judges down on the water, but as I say, there's the plasticine there that will tell whether you have or you haven't. You land on it, there will be a mark. Hallie Grimes and Chiqueto PS now coming into her, I think, first time here into the American Gold Cup. Finished top 5 in a Grand Prix in Saugerties just a week or so ago, and actually was back in this arena back in the early part of August in the Young Rider Championships. A team silver there as part of that, and now stepping up to the next level, and that's the under 21. So that shows you the age of Hallie from Houston, Texas. The Can We Keep It LLC's Chiqueto PS, great name for the owners, and by Diablo Blanco, she's built a good relationship with.
Yeah, this is a lovely horse. Really quite like it. It's uphill balance, nice blood, all the scope. great ride there through the double combination, fence 4AB. To ride this a little patient in the beginning so you can ride the last 3 strides for that water line in 6. Touched it.
Yeah.
It stayed up for a minute.
It
and
thought about it.
It sure did. Fortunately, it does come down. So, Hallie sitting on 4 faults. Oh, back rail coming down. Just that hind end didn't finish there over B. Horse was really nice to her there at fence number 12 to make that work.
Come home on the A-Force just quietly down to the last, and time will be okay. Finishing on 8:78.47 for Hallie Grimes and Chikatu PS. You'd have to say that still was a good round.
Great round, young rider, under 21. It's just a lovely horse. And Hallie did a great job of managing that horse around this really difficult course.
And you say not much of a touch there at the plank. Very definitely a touch in the middle of the triple combination. But as we saw on the replay of the plank, she was almost past it. You thought, okay, I've got away with it, and it just.
I did think she did get away with it. She was a few strides away before it actually fell.
Hey ho. Forward motion sometimes takes time. Adrian Sterlings and Faculdol S. And now for the US rider from Greenwich, Connecticut, World Championship gold medalist in 2018. Finished second with this horse at the Hampton Classic Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago. And actually was 5th here last year with just 1 time fault. Now it's interesting because Alan was our designer last year. He hasn't put as much emphasis on time this year because there were a number last year on 1 time fault. The time this year is a little bit more achievable. It's not quite what I want to say, but they're getting to it.
Yeah, you have to think about it a little bit, but it hasn't been too much of a problem. And something to note that, you know, Adrian was second at the Hamptons, which was also designed by Alan Wade. So obviously this combination really likes the Alan Wade horse designing.
We've got the winner of the Hampton Classic Grand Prix coming up later as well. Steps over the water. Just looking, I think they're okay. Didn't see a hand raised.
See, she did a really nice job. She trusted that back rail. The horse stretched for it, landed a little shallow, and that made that 4th stride a lot easier. It's hard to trust that back rail and have a horse do that for you. Fortunately, it does have B of the combination there. That front rail of that ox there, 5 really steady.
Gets home on the 4 at 78.69. 4 for Adrian Sterlings and Facutoles this time. Let's take another look back. Jump well at the wall. American Gold Cup fence fine there, but just the 1 rail coming forward as well. Triple combination again. Just getting tight.
Yeah, you got to think, you know, a lot of riders, some are doing 7 or 8 to the American Gold Cup Oxer before the triple, and the horses that are doing the 7 are getting a big open stride right before the triple combination, which A to B is riding short. So I think for the riders that do the leave out to that Oxer, you got to spend a half a second or so, half haul, get your horses back and shorten their stride again before coming into that triple.
Chloe Reed and crossover 4 for the US rider who was second in the Ottawa Grand Prix back into the tail end of August, and has had some super results in the last few seasons as well, including finishing on the podium in the Rolex Grand Prix down in Wellington, Florida as well. Chloe up from home base down in Ocala on this 10-year-old by Cascadello that's been getting more and more shots at the big classes later on into the season, and she should be riding in here with confidence after those good results. She's been really consistent in the last few months with this horse.
You see this horse has a lot of energy, a lot of blood. It's uphill, very light. Big effort over the water.
But he has given them space after the water, hasn't he? It doesn't come up that quickly.
It's 7 strides. It's pretty comfortable. We haven't seen a horse have that jump down just yet. She's going to have to fight here for the plank. This is 7. So just reel it in a little bit here before this triple combination.
of verbal encouragement.
Did have that back rail rub, but it stayed up.
He just cuts into the skinny. Time will be fine. Round will be good. 74.74, and big smile across her face as an elated Chloe Reid brings crossover 4 Crossy home with a clear once again. And that is looking such an impressive horse rider combination.
It really is. It's got all the parts. It's uphill, it's blood, it's caddy. Jumped a very good round today.
And got away with that one.
Got away with that one. You gotta be lucky sometimes.
You never go round and not touch a fence. That's a fallacy. But Vanessa Hood, and new ride for her this season in Vins for the Take 2 LLC for the former World Cup rider, placed in Ottawa, and in the last few weeks both in Canada and the US. Has made a return to the saddle in the last few years, and took a long break away from the sport at any serious level. And great to see her back in this, and actually with a horse that was being produced with Nick Skelton and Laura Crouch. It was ridden by McLean Ward earlier on this year, who she trains with. And won a big class down in Wellington with McLean in the saddle, and she's very swiftly built a partnership with Vins.
Yeah, Vanessa was always a top rider as a junior and into her young amateur career, and then took quite a long break from it. I'd say it has to be difficult to get back to the level that she's already at, riding in these 5-star Grand Prix. And hats off to her to be able to do that and dedicate the time. And she's having a great round here so far. Oh, jinxed her.
And well, you could just see it even before they took off. It was just getting too tight for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, that 4th stride, it's short, and you really got to work hard to get your horse to land shallow and really get them back those first 2 strides. Oh, that 5 got short. I thought Vanessa rode the triple combination really well. She got her horse back and really tried to make that triple work, and unfortunately the stride just got away from her a couple places.
Leaves her on a score of 8. Okay for time at 79.08 for Vanessa Hood.
I think she ended up with 12.
Yeah, actually confirmed now 12. I thought so as well. They're 12, 79.08 there. Plank comes down. What was your thought there, Michael?
I think overall really good round. You know, the horse's stride is big, and where she had the problems were just getting that horse back and shortening the stride. So I think that's something she'll probably work on for the next class. But like, that was a super round. I'd be very pleased if I were her.
In case you hadn't worked it out, it's Carl Cook. Great bit of headgear from Carl, and Carlo actually finished second here in 2019. Won the Grand Prix here last week as well in Traverse City. Won the 5-star Grand Prix here back in August. So if we're looking at form riders here as well, this is one to look at. The Californian with Cindy Ospi's Caracol de la Roque, this French-bred ride. Former French ride, one of the world's best too, but Carl should be in confident form here too.
Yeah, this is, I think, for me, one of the most interesting matches to watch today. I don't think Carl has done a class this big on this horse yet. Winners of a 3-star Grand Prix last week here. Newer mount for him. He's won a lot of classes already, but definitely their hardest test to date is today.
Whoa, whoa.
Well, he got away with it.
You worked for that.
He did work for it. Might not have been the smoothest round, but it was effective.
Reach.
Wow. This is definitely a trier.
Carl Cook with a chance to go into the fight once again for the American Gold Cup, and he'll put himself in there time-wise fine, and as I said, he comes in on a hot streak. It is the 4th clear so far of this American Gold Cup presented by Great Lakes Sport Commission. That was worked for, but it was impressive.
It was very impressive, and if I was one of the other clear riders, not something I would want to see right now, that combination coming into the jump-off.
lot of speed there. A lot of speed is under the hood there, yet to be pulled out for those two. Dara Kenny and Art van Groesveld for the Irish rider, based here in the US as well, has been for a long time now. Came over back in the very early part of his career and worked with Missy Clark, who's been so brilliant. She and John Brown at producing top riders through. And he has certainly become one of the very best. In fact, he's one of the world's top 20, number 16 in the world right now. Dara with the Reverie Sport horses, Belgian Warm Blood, by the great Arco, sire of this. The father of this horse actually went on to very nearly win a gold medal in Athens in 2004. Nick Skelton on.
Love that horse.
Yes. Massive string of horses at the moment.
It takes a massive string of horses for the riders to be able to compete the way they do and jump 5-star after 5-star and maintain that top 20 world ranking. You're not doing that with 1 or 2 horses. Dara's giving this horse a great ride. So accurate, so exact. Where he wants to be, where the stride is. Horse is always balanced. Super ride there. Immediately steadies for the 5, but horse just jumped through that vertical a little bit.
Well, that's a shame. Just finishing on the one down for Dara Kenny, 4 faults with Art van Groesveld. Again, going to be the probably biggest track this pair have jumped together so far. Overall, just made a little move to the left there as they're coming down.
Yeah, shifted a little left, and I think he was looking for a little room at the end and shifted left. I think he fought Dara a little bit. You can see Dara the second he landed from that triple, he was trying to steady for that 5, but big horse, end of the course. Just didn't quite shorten enough for him.
Delaney Flynn and Julietta. And for Delaney, again, one of the biggest tracks she's faced. It's for the Windsor Show Stables, which is the McRae's, Jonathan and Christine McRae. Christine actually is a past winner of the American Gold Cup. That was with Vegas back in 2006. Remember that one?
I do. I competed in that Gold Cup. I remember that quite well.
And so for them, they came through in the qualifying with a clear and 4. Good round earlier on this week. And so with Julietta, this mare, the 13-year-old for Delaney, getting a very good opportunity here and flies the first.
She does the 8 strides from 1 to 2. Smaller horse. Nice stride for a smaller horse, but not huge. Delaney, just a young rider, I believe just 23 years old. Oh, horse gave a big effort there.
And the good thing is it didn't catch up with them at the next.
No, she want to reel it in here just a hair. Oh, I did great there. Oh, almost had it. Thought the horse landed really nicely off that ox there.
Comes through there well. Now just nice shot at the Liberty fence.
I have to say this pairing looks very good together.
Yeah.
This is a big track. I don't think they've done a 5-star together yet, and that looked legit. That was really good.
That was good. Finishing on the 4:77.36 for Delaney Flynn and Julietta, as we said, very good opportunity for one of the younger riders there through the Windsor Show Stables, and a little look back, so near.
That's too bad. I think she did steady that well. You know, I think the horse came back well. She steadied. She wasn't too close to the plank. That's just a bit of bad luck.
So Caroline Mawhinney and Hollywood the 5th. Now youngest in the field, just 17 years of age, Caroline, from these days Wellington, Florida, originally from California. Junior gold medalist back in 2022, okay, last year. And so this year, individual 6th in the Young Rider Championships. That's the under-21s as well. So she's been very impressive indeed. Trains with Jessica Mendoza. And again, one of the biggest tracks she's jumped, and this is her first year even being age-wise able to compete in these classes.
Yeah. I don't care who you are, 17 years old is very young to be competing at this level. Over this course. So far she's doing a wonderful job. This is a great horse. Both of these guys are very competitive. Trainer Jess Mendoza, super competitive rider as well.
Yeah, she's definitely passed that on, but I think some of that was already ingrained.
So we're sitting with 4 faults. Must have had a foot in the water. Maybe I didn't see a rail come down.
No.
Oh.
Yes. I do see one now, but no, they're just replacing some plasticine at the water. So
back rail of B, and the triple comes down. Just got placed a little too close to that vertical, I think, and so she will finish with the 12 faults.
yeah, going to be 12 for Caroline Mawhinney and Hollywood the 5th. And again, you wouldn't be overly disappointed with that.
No, I thought she gave it a great ride. That was unfortunate there through the triple combination. But yeah, young rider, just 17 years old. What a great experience and great round by that pair.
Well, it shows us that we have the 4 clears so far with Richie Maloney, with Ashley Bond, with Chloe Reid and Carl Cook as part of this year's American Gold Cup. And those are the clears as we hit the halfway stage of this year's historic class here in Traverse City. And we're getting set for a short break. We're going to catch up with some of our riders as well from that first half of this Class 2. And it is Ireland, it is Israel, and 2 for the USA, giving us clears at this stage here in this wonderful spot here in Michigan. And so we're going to catch up with Hannah, who's also been catching up with some of our riders as well here at Traverse City.
Well, a tough competition in this American Gold Cup already, but I'm here with Ashley Bond. Ashley, one of only 4 clears so far. Talk me through the round.
Yeah, I think Alan built a beautiful course for today's Gold Cup. It's my 2nd time at this venue jumping it, and I thought it suited Donnie really well. From start to finish, he asked questions, which I love about Alan's courses, and we'll see how many go clear in the end.
Was this something that you were aiming for with Donnie?
Yes, of course. I jumped the Ottawa Grand Prix. He was clear. We had a little bit of a mishap in the jump off, and I saved him specifically for this. He did the team competition yesterday as his first class since Ottawa, so I'm glad it worked out.
And this is the 2nd Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix that you've made it into the jump off for in a row.
Yes.
It's something on form for you now?
I mean, I hope so, but you never want to get too confident. It is show jumping, so my horse is in form. I'm just trying to not mess that up.
And finally, this is a competition you haven't actually won before. What would it mean to you to win here today?
It would be amazing. There's a lot of legendary riders that have won this, and to add my name to that list would be really special. So, there's a lot of good people, fast people already in the jump off, so I have my work cut out for me, but Donnie tries his heart out for me every time, so, I'll give it my all.
Well, huge congratulations. We'll
Thank you.
get back to your preparations for the jump off.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, there from Ashley Bond has a chance here of adding another nation. Only 2 nations, in fact, have actually won the American Gold Cup, and so that is USA and Ireland, and a chance for Israel to put their name on it this year. But several of the US in the way yet with Carl Cook and Chloe Reid, as we've seen. There's the clears so far. 4 of them in total. Ashley Bond amongst them, of course. Richie Maloney, former winner, 2015 winner, started us off with Cocoa Beach, and those are the 4 clears at this stage. Margie Engel just missing out with the 4 faults again. Just another year, her loser for the American Gold Cup. Dara Kenny, nice round, but just on the 4 as well. Delaney Flynn with Julietta on 4 as well. Same for Adrian Sterling and Facuitol S. And of our 10 there, Beat Manley also on the 4. That was just a foot in the water, unfortunately, with Desari and Jacob Pope and Highway FBH finishing on the 8 faults as it stands. $475,000 on this American Gold Cup class here this afternoon, and certainly building for an interesting one. And Michael, very quickly, certainly building was the key to this. He's built a really interesting course here, Alan Wade, as we expected.
Yeah, Alan always does. It's a great course. It asks a lot of questions, just like Ashley said. And I think it's riding kind of like it walked. I think, the trouble parts are definitely causing the problems, and it's spread out throughout the whole course. It's going to be exciting second half. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Traverse City. We're hovering here in the mid-60s and sunny, and I think the horses and riders are loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect conditions for today's class as well. As I say, over 50 years of history for this, going back to 1970 to Cleveland. It's headed to a number of venues over the years as well. And so we're going to take a little visit to some of that from memories of those that have been past winners here too in just a moment as well for this American Gold Cup. One that's very special in the hearts of US show jumping. Well, let's hear from some of the riders that have taken part of this. So they're very special memories of the American Gold Cup.
The Gold Cup is very prestigious. It's something that I think people put on their calendars each year.
When you look at the trophy and all the big names on it, like it's a big thing to win it.
A lot of people disperse and go different directions in the summer, but the Gold Cup has always been a really important class. It has a really cool trophy, actual Gold Cup, and yeah, a big history.
I think all the best riders are always here in North America, and they're always really aiming for this at the end of the summer. And it just shows you how much they respect it, because they come a long way to compete in it.
I've actually won the Gold Cup 3 times. So the first time I won it with a horse named Northern Magic, and it was in 1989, I believe, and it was back in Devon, Pennsylvania.
BZ Patton and Northern Magic at their best. This is one of the easiest rides we've seen. And clean at the last.
And here's our new leader. It is going to be BZ Patton, who wins her biggest prize ever.
It was a massive win for me. I had a good summer, but I hadn't really won a Grand Prix with James Cannon Cruise yet, so I'd really aimed to do my best in that class. He jumped great in the qualifier, and then the class itself, he was amazing. I was early to go in the class actually, and it worked out in my favour. Both rounds jumped amazing.
Yeah, it was with probably the best horse I've had, Carabas Z. I was last to go on the jump off and was double clear, and yeah, no, it was a great win.
I won in 2010, I think it was, again with Coral Reef Via Volo, and it was in Chagrin Falls, so it was exciting to win that one. And then the last time I won was with an 8-year-old named Garant, who will actually be in the Gold Cup this week, and that was very exciting because it was his first big Grand Prix other than a 2-star, so we didn't have expectations of winning, but he exceeded our expectations, so that was really exciting.
BZ Madden has unveiled a star. That horse is going to be something. She has got to be ecstatic.
It's a huge class, like in America, and I was the first non-American winner, which was great.
I was only the second out non-American to win the Gold Cup, so that shows you how hard it is to win. So it's a very special occasion and very hard to win.
Yeah, it felt amazing, and I probably didn't know how big it was until after, so it was huge.
The Great Lakes Sports Commission promotes Michigan as a premier sports destination. As a valued partner of Traverse City Horse Shows, the Commission, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and the Traverse City Tourism were instrumental in bringing the American Gold Cup to Traverse City for its 50th anniversary. Now in its 53rd year, the prestigious American Gold Cup calls Northern Michigan its home. We thank the Sports Commission for helping us elevate the region as a global equestrian destination. And not only this part of a prestigious class in terms of the American Gold Cup, but part of the series as well for the Major League Show Jumping, of which the previous stage was Ottawa in Canada. And we're going to take a little look back at how they fared in Canada.
Leg 4 hosted the $225,000 five-star RBC Grand Prix of Ottawa. Shane Sweetnam clipped just one pole in the jump-off to finish third with C. Jocks Z. Meanwhile, young rider Chloe Reid with crossover 4 clinched one of only 2 double clears to finish in second. But it was Lily Keenan with Argan de Belliard who clinched the win, taking more than a second off Chloe's time to finish on a clean sheet and take top honours in this competitive field.
After the passing of my mother from Alzheimer's, Accelerate the Care began with a dream to support the Alzheimer's Northern Michigan community. We at Accelerate the Care are dedicated to fueling Northern Michigan through scholarships, workshops, and direct funding for caregivers. Take a chance to jump in the driver's seat of the Ford Mustang to help us help those who care. See you on the road.
Well, Traverse City Horse Shows is proud to offer a $30,000 rider bonus for open jumper riders. The bonus is determined based on points accumulated in classes offering either $25,000 or more in prize money or over fences of 1.45 meters and higher throughout the Traverse City Spring Horse Shows, the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival and the Traverse City Fall Shows. And the very well-deserved winner here today is standing beside me here, Kathleen Driscoll, is being presented here with the check from Traverse City Horse Shows. Kathleen, just tell us how this feels for you.
Thank you. This is fantastic. We've been here for 8 weeks now. The horses have all jumped amazing. It's been a great season across all of my strings, so it's very exciting. It's a great bonus that the horse show offers, and we love our time here.
Well, huge congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll let you get back to enjoying the competition this afternoon.
All right, super. Thank you.
Well, there we have it then, a great award there for Kathleen Driscoll. Can we have a round of applause for Kathleen, please? Well, there we have it, a fantastic season for Kathleen Driscoll here at Traverse City Horse Shows. But the task in hand this afternoon, of course, is the American Gold Cup. And what a competition we have had already. We've got 4 clears so far, more already than we had in our jump-off in 2022. Those names, just to recap, were first into the ring, Richie Maloney with Cocoa Beach. Ashley Bond and Dolatello are the second combination through to the jump-off. A rider who's never won this competition before, but certainly an illustrious record on her career so far. We then have Chloe Reid and Crossover 4, second Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix in a row in which she's got into the jump-off, and then Carl Cook and Caracol de la Roque. He saved this horse for this competition, and these riders have been gearing up to this as much as they can over the last weeks and months and possibly even years. We've got the second half coming up in just a few moments' time. We'll see how many riders we can add to those 4 in the jump-off.
Well, getting set for the second half of round one of the American Gold Cup here from Traverse City, Michigan. And as we've heard already, the 4 clears in the bag, but we're going in reverse order of the qualifying through the week as well. Michael Morrissey alongside me. Michael, as we get through into this second half here, we've got, 15 left to come, and it is going into our probably strongest group yet, with those having had not only a good week here, but you'll note from several having had a good week in weeks in the last few runs as well. Has been a long string of big Grand Prix in the recent times as well. Callie Schott is a former actual 5-star Grand Prix winner here in Traverse City, won here back in August of last year as well, with Garrett. Now Garrett was actually the horse that BC Banton rode to win. Actually was an 8-year-old.
Correct.
When the horse won. We saw that on that coverage a few moments ago. Owned by the Southern Archers and with the mare by Warrant, and finished third last week in the Grand Prix here in preparation. Several riders competing here last week as well. And off she runs, Michael. Now she gets off to a fairly swift start to this big wall.
Yeah, big wall. This horse is an aggressive horse. Really good jumper. I think Callie really just has to manage the stride, the mouth a little bit. She had to get up that 5. Heading here to our water line. It's a little trivia for you, Stephen. Do you know if any horse has won the American Gold Cup with 2 different riders?
Ooh, don't think so. Don't think so.
I think we'd have to look into the jet run days. And
I can do all that, don't worry, but I don't think so off the top of my head.
Oh. Got a little bit too close there in the 4 strides to that plank. We've seen that plank come down numerous times today. This horse really just builds a lot of forward momentum going to the jumps, and I think that maybe just caught up there at that plank. That was a shame. Super round.
Yeah, just finished on the 4:75.69 for Callie Schott. Goes into 5th place so far, with guaranteed by the way the answer was no to your question. But we have seen some illustrious horses in there. Michael Matz with Judgment, and of course Jet Run, as you say. But no doubling up, not like a Retina Z that won a gold medal with 2 different riders. Paul O'Shea, Emerald van ter Voorhof. Now actually he's gone close here before. He was 2nd back in 2021 with Manchu Picchu. He was 5th in 2020. He was 5th in 2019, and one of those was on this horse as well, Emerald van Voorhof, for the Emerald Partners, for the Irish rider based down in Wellington, Florida, as he has been for many years now. He's been out in the United States for almost 20 years by this point. Paul comes up as our 19th in the order overall of 31, making a good progression through here. And again, is another one that's possibly saved towards this class.
Yeah, Paul does a great job managing his horses. Numerous top placings, 5-star competitions all around the world. A little bit of rub at the triple bar. See, he's really having to guide his horse there to that double. Heading to our Cabana Coast vertical, set at meter 60. Seven strides, quite comfortable there to that oxer. It's at meter 55 high. It's pretty narrow. It's about 130 wide. He's still clear heading to the final home stretch, which includes this difficult triple combination.
We just found in the first group they were finding that short. Now he almost looked to be taking it a little bit on the angle.
Yeah, he shaped a little bit off the turn coming into it. Oh, just hooks that major league vertical behind a little bit. Such a tough jump to jump clear at the end of a course.
That's why it's there. Puts him on the 4 for Paul O'Shea and Emerald from this point of view. Here looking good at the American Gold Cup fence, and there, delicate little rail just to get over that vertical. And late in the round, I mean, it's one 1.60 m as well, which is maximum height they can go to with the verticals here as well.
I have to say, as a rider, that's probably my least favorite jump on the course to jump. Just a delicate, skinny vertical, 3 single rails, nothing there to back a horse off.
Why is it so hard?
I don't know. Maybe it's something that's maybe in my head. I know that those skinny,
just
delicate. Obviously, the rails are shorter, so they're lighter. So it takes a lot less to knock them down. So if a horse just basically breathes on them, they fall down.
Alison Robitaille now from Upperville. Team winner yesterday as part of Major League Jumping. She'll have been placed in this over the years as well, and Alison Firestone as well. Oakingham Lyra, the mare by Tornesh for Alison Robitaille.
This is a really sporty little mare.
Yes.
Careful, fast, very modern type.
Alison coming in with confidence. She's won some great trophies all around the world. Everything from Queen's Cup through to wins in Amsterdam through an illustrious career.
She took a little bit of a wider turn there. It took some time to get to that oxer. Unfortunately, does have that plank down. That oxer coming into the 4-stride there that everyone's having a problem with, that is a big oxer, and you just really can't take it for granted.
Four Fault still very much in the money at the moment of this American Gold Cup. There we go, just on 4. It's 78.21 for Alison Robitaille, and Oakingham Lyra again joins that list of 4s. Callie Schott sitting in 5th place at the moment. They're very much in the money. She goes in 10th at this point, so Four Faults could give you some good money out of this $475,000 US Grand Prix. Again, the plank drops. Michael, you said you didn't like the little skinny towards the end. I don't think many are going to like the plank.
Yeah, there's quite a few riders today that are not liking that plank, but I think it's all about how you jump the oxer coming into that plank. You know, it's a big oxer, but I think you have to almost risk it just a hair. You have to get your horses to land shallow, or at least land soft. And I'd say for the most part, the horses are really riding and being aggressive at that plank, and you really got to just get them to land and get them to be as soft as you can coming to it.
Two-time winner of the American Gold Cup, both with Gazelle, including in the 50th anniversary year in 2020. Kent Farrington and his own Greya, now a 9-year-old by Colestus. The father of this was a really good grey stallion ridden by the great Luc Gebierbaum as well. 3-time Olympic gold medalist. Now for Olympic silver medalist, Kent Farrington. And this is another step up for this very impressive looking horse.
He won it twice on Gazelle or once on Boyer, right?
Back to Gazelle, I think, both times, actually.
Yeah. Ooh, look at he slapped the box in front of the water on the way up. No fault for that. See, Kent did that really well. His horse landed nice and soft. Super round so far.
Really nice.
Kent's giving this horse a really good ride. Kept him forward momentum to that skinny.
Holes there to the last, 76.05. Clear it is for Kent Farrington. A chance to go for a 3rd title to join the likes of BC Madden on 3 wins. Kent Farrington and Greya is in with a shot again, the 5th clear of the group. And as this horse develops, just looks better and better the bigger the fences get.
That looked super today. He had that horse in correct form, confident, jumping great. Kent gave it a great ride. That was a super, super round.
So it is Ken Farrington in the mix with Greer, the 9-year-old there. Spencer Smith, HHS at Seattle for the Ashland Farms and Don Stewart Stables, both of Wellington. The Irish bred horse by Pacino for Spencer. Top 5 in the qualifier for this Irish produced horse from the Marion Hughes team. And again, developing a good partnership with this. He's won 5-star Grand Prix on the Global Champions Tour before now, in the likes of Samarin, and big Grand Prix here in the US as well. And Spencer, very swiftly, although about mid-20s now, has already established a good career.
He's still considered a young rider in my eyes, but
that's perfect.
He's done a lot in his young riding career. This is a newer match for him. I mean, this is only his second 5-star on this horse, and jumped a beautiful clear round last week in the 3-star.
I mean, that was the nice thing. You and I got to see some of the horses last week as well here in readiness for this Grand Prix by getting in this arena, getting over some of, this type of arena, some of these fences gives you a good lead in.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely coming in with some nice confidence from last week. Oh, that was unfortunate. I think the horse just maybe took a little bit of a misstep taking off the ground there. The Cabana Coast vertical coming down as well, so sitting with an early 8 faults. I talked with Spencer a little bit before this round, and he said, this horse is really starting to come together for him, but he's probably a few months away from it really starting to click and peak for him. He said it's a little bit early on in their relationship together, and
he's the sort of pair they'll be looking at probably Wellington, Florida next year to really come out flying.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the 12, though, as you say, it's one of the biggest tracks this pair have jumped so far. And we'll keep developing as a partnership. There's definitely a lot of good stuff in there. Finishing on 12 for Spencer Smith and Seattle. Your thoughts, Michael?
Yeah, I think overall, you see in the replay there, I think the horse just misjudged that double a little bit. Didn't quite take a full step off the ground. But again, a newer pair. He's trying to build a relationship with this horse, get it up to this 5-star level, and like he said, he's a few months away from it from really happening, but they're getting the good miles and time together now.
Well, it's already building towards a fast jump off. We've got Ken Farrington, we've got Carl Cook, Chloe Reed, Ashley Bonds, and Richie Maloney in the lineup at this stage. 23rd of 31, and Ali Ramsey of King City, Ontario, the Canadian, with the Ramsey Equestrians Bonita. The mare by Bustique, won in Kentucky this year, placed at Angelstone in Canada in recent weeks, just outside Toronto there, and also close up to the capital in Ottawa on the Major League events there as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely little mare, nice type. Little tick there in the double. Maybe fights you a little bit in the mouth, but it's uphill. Nice effort over the water.
Verbal woe.
Oh, very good.
It works.
Job. Let's jump in a super round. We'll see if we get to this super difficult triple combination. I think she came in very nice.
Oh, got thrown in the saddle and then is in all.
Wow,
how she jumped that?
I think the horse had to try so hard over the oxer, it kind of threw Ali off a little bit at sea, so she had that down, and I don't know how she got back in the saddle and jumped that jump clear.
She's getting a round of applause from the crowd, as rightly she should. Finishes on just the 4 at 77.34 for Ali here at the water. Okay, huge jump over the drink there, but here thrown forward, sideways, back, bends the line back in and jumps it.
That was incredible. Big props to Ali for getting back in the saddle and staying on track and finishing with a clear round after that unfortunate little bobble there in the triple, just to finish with 4 faults. And still, that was important to stay on track, because now she's sitting in 9th place right now with that 4 fault round potentially could be getting a check.
Yep, so potential money there for good effort from Ali Ramsey. Grant Sager now, and Frida, based now in Aiken, South Carolina, originally from Texas. And third here back in August in Traverse City, when we had our previous 5-star as well, with the mare Frida. The great Balou de Roy, which goes back to Balabé de Roy, which was the Olympic gold medal winning horse of Rodrigo Pessoa, alongside a list of big wins, so certainly championship potential in the line. Big step over the water.
Big step over the water. This horse has a big stride.
A little bit
as well.
unsettled.
He did a good job of making it work. Horse looked like it was going to try to take over and get a little bit tough in the mouth there, but Grant did a great job of settling in and just jumping a super round. Nice animation from the horse coming to this American Gold Cup Oxer.
Doesn't want that here, though.
No, definitely not.
Up.
Just had a ticket right there, just enough.
One more. Well, he's going to get there. He gets there at 77.79, made it work. Grant Sager and Frida, good performance in Vancouver earlier on this year, gives us now the 6th clear. Michael, there was a little bit of engineering in there.
There was some engineering, you know. It wasn't, parts of it were maybe not the smoothest, but Grant really had to fight for it. The horse has maybe a little bit of a tricky mouth and a big stride, but up to super round. He definitely fought for that clear round.
Connor Swale walking down, world number 14. In fact, like I say, we've got a number of the world's top 20 here. We're about to get to a few of those. Ken Farrington, current world number 8. We've still got McLean Ward to come, world number 6. Shane Sweetnam, world number 10. Danny Blumen down there at the last go as well is world number 19 right now as well.
Derek Kenny must be in the top 20 as well.
He is. He's number 16.
And then who else did we have top 20?
7 in total. McLean at 6, Kent at 8. I feel like I'm doing the charts now. Shane at 10, Daniel Coyle 13, Connor Swale 14, Derek Kenny 16, and Daniel Blumen 19.
Stellar group, that's for sure.
Certainly is. And the rest of the supporting cast. Connor Swale with the Man and Farm's Vital Chance de la Roque. Finished top 3 in the Hampton Classic Grand Prix, 2 weeks ago now for the Irish rider. Long list of wins that this pair have had together as well. Let's see, experienced 14-year-old, one of the world's top stallions, de Montesini. Swale is another one that can manufacture a round out.
Yes, he can.
We've seen him in the last few weeks. I can't think of where I saw him in the last couple of weeks. Buckle end over a fence. And he got them there. Full-on hunting seat at that point. He is an absolute master at making it work.
That is a true statement. I mean, he's so good. He's so good on a good horse. He's so good at manufacturing another horse. He can get himself out of some tricky positions. And think, how did he do that? Really sitting back for that 7 there. See his horse getting a little bit aggressive, and just got in the back seat a little bit there and let him take him. Oh.
Now, not many have had that. Plenty have had that.
Yep, that front row. I think that was what I call the snowball effect a little bit. That just kind of was rambling through that line a little bit. Vertical, my favorite jump, comes down again, so it will be 12 faults. Yep, 12 faults.
Yeah, it's going to be a dozen. 77.92 for Connor Swale and Vital Chance de la Roque. And unfortunately, as you say, middle part of that round, 2 coming snowballing on the back of each other. Have another look here. What do you think, Michael?
It really just shot him. The horse got a little bit flat there, I'd say, and it just shot him past that Liverpool. He had the front rail, and then you can see he landed quite far away from the Oxer as well, and he just had so much forward momentum going into that plank that I don't think he really had much of a shot at the plank either.
Well, number 10, it is now Shane Sweetnam of Ireland, the Spy Coast Farms Out of the Blue SCF, by Verdi TN and out of Casablanca La Silla. Shane Sweetnam, a defending champion for the American Gold Cup, won last year here with James Can Cruz, which has been his fabulous horse this season again, that has gone on to many big successes on the podiums in the likes of Geneva. Out of the Blue SCF has been quietly sitting alongside there too. It's a 9-year-old horse, so a little less experienced at this top level. Finished very well and third in the qualifier earlier on this week too. And I have to say, it's one that I'm really impressed by.
Yeah, it looks better and better every time it shows. It's been having a wonderful season. 9 years old is quite young for a track like this, but Shane's done a really good job of bringing this horse along. He's got a nice group of horses that he can let this horse sit under the radar maybe a little bit to begin with, and then now it's ready to be showcased.
What fascinates me with this horse as well is all very simple in terms of tack.
Yeah, there's no mark gill. I think the horse likes to go with its head up. Shane allows it to just keep its head there.
And for those looking at the horse's nose, it's basically a breathing strip, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just it's supposed to help open up the airways so horses can breathe easier. That's probably just a little bit of lack of experience there for the horse. Probably one of the biggest triple combinations he's ever seen. It's not that he doesn't have the scope to do it, it just probably hasn't seen one like that yet. And it just, I mean, that was a beautiful round, just a 4-fault round on a younger 9-year-old.
Lots to be excited about for the future for Shane Sweetnam and Out of the Blue, just finishing on the 4 faults for them in that triple combination. What did you think? Again, as you said, a little bit of greenness there.
I mean, I think Shane's going to be happy with that round. Of course, every time Shane's in the ring, he wants to be clear and thinks he has a shot to win it. So, of course, he's going to be a little disappointed he's not in the jump off, but you got to take the positives out. And he just brought a 9-year-old in that probably jumped its first 5-star Grand Prix or one of this level and jumped it very well.
Roberto Terran, a little bit more experience with the 15-year-old Des Ubtov, and Roberto representing Colombia, based here in the US as well. Finished well in Aachen. He was a top finisher on the podium. He was second in the Rolex Grand Prix this year down in Wellington, Florida. Fourth actually in the American Gold Cup last year. That was on one time fault, and that's what I say. It's a very different shape of the competition this year as well. So I'm sure he'll have a little bit of that in the back of his mind. Not that he'll need to keep moving, but he'll want to prove a point.
Exactly. This horse has a very big stride, so you do have to think about the time on this horse because you're constantly keeping that big stride in check, but Bertel does a good job of using his track. See, he did the 7 from 1 to 2, so that automatically he's doing the leave out, and then you see here he's way on the inside track to this vertical. Helps put a bend in this 6 to the water. He has to fight for that 7 more than most. I mean, this horse isn't a huge horse, not a big horse by any means, and certainly one of the biggest strides in the class. Like a neat rollback there, really trusted the back rail to help with that 4 stride. That was ridden very well. You know, Roberto really knows this horse so well. He knows how to ride this horse every inch of the way. A steady heart here. Ooh. He squeaked over that one.
Going to get a chance to prove his point. By the looks of it, just the last to go. Time will be fine. And he'll be home and in the hunt once again. Roberto Terran and Des Ubtov give us clear round number 7 of this year's American Gold Cup. Your thought?
I think Roberto gave that a super round. I mean, he knew that horse so well. The way he rolled back on that Liverpool Oxer for the 4 and he gave it a short rollback, really trusted his horse at the back rail, let him land shallow. The ride to the triple and the last line, he had a super ride.
And in the jump off, like you said, they've got a long stride. That is actually then going to switch to being possibly in their favour.
Yeah, he can do some leave outs and try and get that stride to be as quick as possible.
Gimme Del Merced is a newer ride this year for McLean Ward of the USA for the Sport 4 USA. And, well, for him, he's gone close a number of times in the American Gold Cup, but it's eluded him up to now, and he wants to put that one definitely to bed. McLean, one of the absolute stars of the sport, multi-Olympic gold medalist, and winner of some of the biggest Grand Prix, especially in the last 12 months as well, from Geneva through to the Dutch Masters too. And McLean continues to excite with, as I say, a newer horse this season, this 9-year-old by Quasimodo, a Spanish sport horse, in fact. It was ridden originally with Daniel Bedoya of Bolivia.
Yeah. Stephen, you and I commentated on a 3-star.
We did.
This horse's first 3-star Grand Prix up here with Daniel last year. Jumped a clear round with a time fault in that 3-star, and then the buzz started after that. And McLean was able to secure this horse in December.
Yeah. We were very impressed with it back in, it was about August time at that point, wasn't it? It was July, August.
You know, McLean has very high hopes. I think this is his favorite of the string for next year, next summer in the Olympics. So McLean had a little injury earlier in the summer, said he felt a little bit of a setback there, trying to develop a young horse and get him the 5-star experience he needed.
Yeah, unfortunately had a collarbone injury, came back to competition a few weeks ago in Ottawa.
This horse jumped in a super round, but I do believe it had a foot in water.
Yeah.
Just that back rail. Again, just a 9-year-old, just like we saw with Shane's horse, very young. This is a big track for a younger horse that doesn't have the experience of doing a 5-star. So just the one knockdown and an unfortunate foot in the water will leave McLean with 8 faults, but he's got to have a positive feeling about the horse after this class.
Yeah, going to leave them on the 8th there for McLean, and Kimi Delmacet, his father, won this title back in 1986. He was second in 2017, second with Callis last year as well. And, well, as you say, the good thing is to take out of the day, that looks, again, continues to look as we saw last year, an impressive horse indeed. We're going to see a lot more of that one. Just the gate though for McLean. Leaves us 3 left to come, and as I say, we're coming back into our final 3 in qualifying too. So these are the best 3 performers throughout the week in terms of their consistent form for the whole of this Gold Cup week. And Daniel Coyle back into the world's top 20 with the number 13 in the world right now. That's his highest ever rank with Quintin for Ariel Grange of Canada, the Irishman in the saddle here. He won the Grand Prix qualifier earlier on this week. You can see he's strapped up as well. A groin injury, I think he picked up in Spruce Meadows. He's just carrying through here, but he's working with it.
Yeah, a groin injury in this sport is never fun. It's never fun, period. But you have to have your legs gripped around a saddle, and horses jumping meter-60 jumps. It's not easy.
On the winning Irish team in Spruce Meadows in Canada just last week as well. Daniel riding the best of his life at the moment.
Yeah, he's really just a competitive rider, as we saw in the Major League show jumping event last night. He was so fast. It was a super ride into the triple. He's got 1 to go. Time is looking good. Oh.
Little tap of the finish, but it is going to stay up there, and so Quintin and Daniel Coyle for Ireland will give us number 8 of the clears so far of this year's American Gold Cup, presented by the Great Lakes Sports Commission, and they've been instrumental in bringing the American Gold Cup here to Michigan. Super round through, stay straight through there.
A little bit of rub at the last jump, but I don't think we've seen that last jump come down so much today, have we?
No. Talking of form, Kathleen Driscoll, we saw her back, about 20 minutes ago, receiving the award here as the leading rider for the season here in Traverse City, and riding for the Plain Bay Farm, and that is Katie and Henri Prudent. Katie, who's been one of the US's top riders and now trainers as well, and Kathleen's such a hard worker, has really been producing the goods this year as well. Here with Ron, the French-bred mare, won the Maya Grand Prix here back a few weeks ago in the middle of the summer too.
Wow, that was, I mean, you saw Kathleen there go to the stick a little bit just for a little extra encouragement. She saw a horse maybe just holding himself off that double a little bit. She did it just enough to not worry the horse, but just to give it enough encouragement to jump over it clear. That was well done. Really like what Katie and this whole group are doing right now. Fortunately, that
dropped.
Oxer does come down on the back rail. Kathleen's become such a sophisticated rider, always has a top plan, very competitive, and we just saw her take that the rider's bonus. Unfortunately, probably got a little bit deeper than she wanted coming into that triple, and then just struggled a little bit there at B.
Won the winning round class earlier on today as well, so he's already had a 5-star win behind her too, and placed throughout the week. And so she's going to be walking away with a decent check for the week, but sadly not from this class with 12 there at 79.26.
That was unfortunate at the Liverpool there. I thought she rode that pretty well, just nicked it on the way down.
And is that just because of the shape of the they came to that fence, or is it because they're thinking about the plank and how to get to it?
I think she was definitely thinking about the plank, wanted the horse to maybe land a little shallow there, and just barely touched that back rail, and then triple was a little bit of a different scenario, but all in all, a good round.
Final combination in round 1 of this year's American Gold Cup, and Daniel Blumen of Israel, based here as he has been for a long time in the US, the over-the-top stables of New York's Ladriano Z, the Big L. Huge jumping horse, really impressive. Won the Hampton Classic Grand Prix 2 weeks ago, and in fact won last week in Saugerties in a 4-star Grand Prix there, so he's looking to try and win 3 Grand Prix in a row if they could.
Wow, I didn't even realize he won the 4-star.
Yeah, so that would be pretty impressive. Now, on this well-established 5-star Grand Prix winner for Daniel. Second in the qualifier earlier on this week as well.
Yeah, this is such a partnership. These two are so strong. He knows his horse inside and out. He's had it since a young horse.
And it's a horse that's definitely not short of jumping ability.
Not at all.
I mean, the second fence is a house, but it jumps it easily.
This is a big horse with a big stride, and you'll see Daniel really knows how to work the stride. Just like Roberto, he really always thinks about his track. See here, he's right on the inside track to fence number 5 so that he can bend this 6 to the water. Great effort. It's great to see a horse that's done so much in his lifetime, this age, still competing top level. Says a lot about Daniel's management of this horse. Wow, that was...
Well, that's a surprise.
That was. I thought Daniel gave it a good ride there. It looked like he had gotten the 4 done nicely. That was unfortunate. Maybe just a little bit of bad luck. Fence number 12, that 5 strides just got so short. And Daniel knows at that point he's out of the ribbons, and even though there's just a couple jumps left, he's going to save them for another day.
He is. Unfortunately, doesn't work out for them today, but as I say, he's had a good week. He was second in the qualifier, won the individual class yesterday as well in terms of that speed, so he's certainly picked up plenty of prize money this week, but not the biggest prize, unfortunately, for Daniel. It would have been nice to get 3 Grand Prix in a row, but there is a point where the brilliance has to come to an end, and so that completes round 1 of this year's American Gold Cup. 8 into the jump off, and those getting in the prize money as well. We still see Margie Engel on the 4, Derek Kenny on 4, Callie Schott actually finishes in 9th place in the end, and so she'll pick up some prize money for that one too as well. 2 in the field that could win for, well, in one case a 3rd time and another a 2nd time in the American Gold Cup. The rest are fighting for a first win of this prestigious trophy. Richie Maloney, 2015 winner with Cocoa Beach, will lead them off. Ashley Bond, Donatello, 141, looking to raise Israel's flag and put that engraved on the trophy. Chloe Reed, crossover 4, looking to build on that very good run in Ottawa. Carl Cook, hard to hold with the very fast Coracle de la Roque. Ken Farrington and Greyer, younger horse, but with the experienced hand of Kent, they could well be a big challenger. Grant Sager just manufactures a round out there with Frida Nicely. Roberto Torrent looking to prove a point after last year with Desugdov, and Daniel Coyle certainly not to be counted out at the end with Quinton. And so for the rest, we look at those. Callie Schott finishing in 9th place, 10 to Margie Engel and Dikas for a top 10 as it stands. And so they'll be picking up prize money as well. And say Derek Kenny also within that top 12 2. Let's take a look at that. Ali Ramsey gets in the prize money there into 12th place on the 4 faults. Just after that, good round 2 from Delaney Flynn as she makes her first appearance in the American Gold Cup as well. Alison Robitaille, Shane Sweetnam, the defending champion, is out on the 4. Adrian Sternlich and Facuitoles, who finished so brilliantly at the Hampton Classic, just on 4. Biat Manley, beautiful round, but just that foot in the water costs them and puts them top 20. Jacob Pope and Hallie Grimes finishing with the 2 down to put them on a total of 8. So that rounding out our top 20 as part of this year's competition, and still the top 8 places to be decided as part of this year's event. Course designing team setting up for the jump off for the conclusion of this Great Lakes Sports Commission Grand Prix, and getting set to also, after having completed our first half, we caught up with some of the riders as well as our course designer Alan Wade. We caught up with some of the riders to test them on their trivia around the American Gold Cup.
How many venues have hosted the American Gold Cup?
4?
Gosh, maybe 2. I don't know. 2?
3. Is the answer Ian Miller?
Ooh, I'm going to say 5.
6.
6.
Who was the first female to win?
Oh, that's a tough one. For some reason, I'm going to say Terry Rudd.
Easy.
I don't know. I'm British. I haven't seen this much before.
Nona Garson.
I guess Busy Madden.
Is the answer Ian Miller?
And Krasinski.
Is it Margie? Is it Leslie? Is it Katie?
No clue.
I don't like this game.
Who was the first female rider to win the Gold Cup?
Melanie Smith.
She knew. Who was the last female to win?
Jessica Springsteen.
Beezy.
Beezy?
She and Sweetnam.
Oh! Is the answer Ian Miller?
Brianne.
Was it Brianne Goutal? Yeah.
But I should have remembered that because she beat me. I was second.
Who fell off and still won the Gold Cup?
I don't know. We picked the wrong person to do this quiz.
Is the answer Ian Miller?
No idea.
Is it a girl or a boy?
Kent.
Kent
Farrington.
Yeah.
Oh, Kent. Yeah, I remember that video.
Oh,
Kent.
she knows all the things.
It wasn't Kent. Oh, it was? Yes! I got one right.
How many nationalities have won the American Gold Cup?
15.
10.
12.
1.
8.
4. Oh. 5. 3. 2. 2.
Was it a Canadian? Was it Ian Miller?
I believe only 2. I think Ireland have won it twice. So that was Shane Sweetman last year and Richie Maloney a few years ago in Old Sarum.
2 only? No way.
2? American and Irish? Really? Wow.
How many were clear in last year's event?
4 or 5.
2?
6. 4.
I think only 3.
3?
3.
3. 3. Yes.
3. I know that one. 3.
Thank you very much. Please, is this game over? Okay.
The Great Lakes Sports Commission promotes Michigan as a premier sports destination. As a valued partner of Traverse City Horse Shows, the Commission, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and the Traverse City Tourism were instrumental in bringing the American Gold Cup to Traverse City for its 50th anniversary. Now in its 53rd year, the prestigious American Gold Cup calls Northern Michigan its home. We thank the Sports Commission for helping us elevate the region as a global equestrian destination. Well, let's take a look at the jump-off course for this American Gold Cup. 1 and 2, as was over the big wall at 2. Now we bring in a new fence coming up for them as we go to fence 14, which is actually the finishing fence, jumped at this point of the course. And then from there, we're rolling back to a new vertical this time at fence 15. And from there, it is then up the arena to the American Gold Cup fence at fence 10 after that long run up here from that point of view. turn back to 11A and B, two parts of what was the triple combination that was such a thorn in the side of several through this first round as well. So 11A and 11B, and then fence 16 is a new one on course, the Sunflowers to finish off, and that's been beautifully presented at the last, and it is going to be 8 of them going for that title. We're going to take a look at who's in the running over Alan Wade's course, assisted by Maurizio there. And here it is with Richie Maloney starting us off with Cocoa Beach. Ashley Bond, Donatello will not be slow. Chloe Reid, crossover 4. Looking forward to seeing to them how much they will really push at this one. We will see. I'm sure they'll give it everything they've got. Carl Cook, Caracol, just seems to have half a gear on the rest. Will he be able to use it effectively? Kent Farrington and Gray are the brilliance of the Olympic athletes. Should never be discounted. Grant Sager and Frida with a good shot down in the final few. Roberto Durante Zubtov, after superb performances in Wellington this year, could well go one better. And Daniel Coyle and Quintin could double up by winning the Grand Prix qualifier and then maybe getting the class themselves. We're going to catch up with some of our riders for their reactions after round 1 to see what they thought. So as they prepare for round 2, let's see what some of the riders had to say.
Richie, first in, first clear. You made it look easy.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was kind of the aim for the week with the mare. She's been doing a lot of shows lately, and I just did one warm-up class and today, and it's worked out so far.
You're one of only 3 previous winners in the field. Any added pressure on that, or just enjoying it?
Just enjoying it. At least we're in with a chance now. She wouldn't be the fastest, but we'll give it a go.
Margie, sadly not to be, but you looked thrilled when you came out.
No, my horse jumped super. He's trying really hard, and unfortunately I caught a kind of a nice one over the Oxer coming in, and he's such a big horse he just ran out of room a little bit to the plank. He tried to back up and he didn't feel like he hit it very hard, but those things you can't really breathe on them. They're very light, so unfortunately it came down, but I was very pleased with how Deacus jumped.
Chloe, you always say you're nervous on the course walk and then you keep pulling out the bag recently. How was that?
I don't know, I'm on a really green horse, so every round we come it keeps getting bigger and it's all new for him. I've had him since he was 6 years old, so every class we jump together, it's a first for both of us, so I'm really proud of him today. This is a big track and there's a lot of history in the class, so I'm really proud of him.
Did it ride as it walked?
Yeah, I like the course actually. It's big, it's impressive, but the distances come really nicely out of the corners and the lines are nice. It was a good course for me. I'm always on an adder horse, so there was a lot of options that I could reel it back in, which was really nice, so it suited me really well.
And another jump off.
Yeah.
How do you ride this one?
There's some really fast combinations in there, so I'm going to give it my best. And again, he's young, so I'm just trying to give him the best experience I can, and hopefully it pays out.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Carl, this looks like it could be one hell of a partnership.
It could. You know, I'm very optimistic, but at the same time I'm tentative. It's still a new partnership. You know, I still don't know the mare all the way, so I know there's a lot more to come.
How was it out there?
It was very good. You know, the strides were nice there. There was a couple challenging places. You know, that steady 4, you know, I didn't really get the Oxer right there, so it was a very steady 4. But she was amazing.
We saw you win the Grand Prix here. The last Major League leg was here.
Yep.
How are we feeling going into this jump off?
I mean, I feel, you know, like I could have a good run in this one. The course is nice, but, you know, you never know until you start.
Well, as we've just heard there from some of the riders, this of course is a hugely prestigious competition, and we knew that it would be very hotly contested with such a fantastic lineup of horses and riders in the field today. 32 came forward in round 1, and we've whittled those down to 8 to go forward to the jump off, and we've got a tricky course set here once again by Alan Wade. Let's take a look though at some of those runners and riders. Richie Maloney, first rider into the ring. He didn't need to watch anybody else go. He just sailed around that course to give us the first clear with Cocoa Beach. Ashley Bond and Donatello, a rider known for speed. She could be one to watch here on the clock. She'll be followed in by Chloe Reid and crossover 4, a young rider very much on form at the moment. Carl Cook with Caracol de la Roque, a horse he's saved for this class. Again, known for speed. He's coming in 4th in the jump off. Kent Farrington will follow with Greer, again another very quick rider, and then Grant Sager with Frida will be the next rider in. Roberto Turan and his World Championship ride Des Uchthoff will be the penultimate combination heading into the jump off once again. Really known for their speed. And then Daniel Coyle and Quintin, a man also very much on form, the winner of the qualifier, of course, here in Traverse City. So he rides Quintin and he will be the final rider to go. Well, we already have quite a lot more clear rounds this year versus last year's running of this competition, 8 in total to come forward. Of course, they have to keep the fences up, but it's all about speed. And we've got some staggeringly fast riders to come. Another thing to look out for, we've only ever had American and Irish winners of the American Gold Cup, but we have competitors representing nations from all over the world in the jump off. We've got the likes, of course, Kent Farrington, Carl Cook and Ashley Bond for America, Richie Maloney for Ireland, as well as Daniel Coyle, Roberto Turan for Colombia, and going to Grant Sager and Chloe Reid from the USA as well. So who will it go to? That's the big question, but stay with us because the jump off will be kicking off in just a couple of moments' time.
Well, getting set for the jump off, Richie Maloney just making his way down for this jump off. He's going to be first to go with Cocoa Beach Reminder. Ashley Bond there with Donatello 141. As Hannah was saying, several nations that could put themselves on the trophy for the first time. Chloe Reid of the USA, crossover 4. Carl Cook, Caracol de la Roque. Ken Farrington and Greer. Then down to another for the USA with Grant Sager and Frida. Roberto Turan for Colombia, Des Uchthoff and Daniel Coyle, Quintin. 2 riders that could make it multiple wins in the American Gold Cup. Richie Maloney, it could be 2, and Ken Farrington, it could be 3, and he would go up to the likes, the total of, alongside the riders, the likes of Melanie Smith-Taylor and Beezy Madden, who've won on 3 occasions. Of course, then went to 4 times with people like Ann Kaczynski and Michael Matz, fairly big names there. Rodney Jenkins, of course, holds the number of wins as the highest number of wins, and that's 5 of those, including with the great Idle Dice. And so we get set for the jump off. Here we go. with Richie Maloney, 2015 winner with Caribous Said. Now has a chance once again for the Irishman based down in Wellington, Florida with the Equanimities Cocoa Beach. So a reminder of that jump, of course, 1, 2, 14, so that was the last fence, new fence 15, 10, 11 AB, and then the Sunflower Oxer added at the last, 1 meter 55, 160 to finish off, and it will be a sprint down to the finish. Michael Morrissey alongside me. This is no holds barred, go for it stuff, isn't it?
You have to go for it when you're in this jump off against these riders. So Richie, the first one to go clear, he's the first one in the jump off. Start us off here, we'll probably do the 7 strides from 1 to 2. We saw it was 7 or 8. We even saw a few 9s in the first round.
So 1 to the wall.
Easy in 7. I wonder if we see a 6 there.
Yeah.
This was our last jump in the first round, fence number 14. Then we have a new jump across the middle here, fence number 15. See, need a long gallop here. We see Richie really asking his horse forward. To roll back on what was the first part of the triple combination here. And then a big gallop home to the Sunflowers.
Final fence coming up for Richie Maloney, and there he's going to get home with the clear at 40.91 for the first to go. Michael, nice round. I would say there might be some more speed in there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the fastest horse in the jump off by far, but Richie did a good job of using his track and being fast where he could and put a little pressure on in the beginning, and see where the cards will fall for him.
So sets the standard, 40.91, landed over the American Gold Cup fence in 26 seconds. There's a little time check there as well. Ashley Bond, Donatello 141 for the Israeli rider from California. Devon Grand Prix winner this year as well. Can she add another historic US title? I mean, these two naturally have a really fast pace. Let's see what they get down here on.
Already so quick. The foot speed on this horse is exceptional. I mean, everything kind of right out of stride. She's going to gallop here to Gold Cup. She never had to check back. That was great.
Lands in 22. She's 4 seconds up.
Cut that fast now stride. Can she get to 7? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the 7. Oh, great round.
Right, wonderful run, and 34.35. It is substantially faster, but that is sort of what we were expecting from Ashley Bond. They have so many more gears, and Ashley Bond and Donny will go into the lead. Can they hold on? They've not left a lot there, Michael.
There's not a lot left at all. That run from 15 up to the American Gold Cup Oxer was very fast. She found it right out of stride without ever touching the reins, and then what a great turn back on the double and did the 7 to the last.
An elated Californian heads out the ring. Has she done enough? She's certainly given them plenty to think about. Chloe Reed and crossover 4. A little less experience for this 10-year-old horse, but a rider who's been up there in the big Grand Prix. In fact, she was top 3 to Ashley in the Rolex Grand Prix down in Wellington before now too. So, winding it up for the rider from Ocala, Florida. Placed in the recent Ottawa Grand Prix as well.
There's 8 strides to the wall. I think she could have done 7, but Ashley did the 8 as well.
Yeah. And the difference is Donatello's just a more experienced pairing together, aren't they?
Yeah, the foot speed on that horse is so quick. She's not slow.
No.
One more stride here to that Oxer than Ashley did. She's landing a couple seconds behind. Great effort there over the combination.
2 superb rounds for Chloe Reed and crossover 4, 40.62. Steadier on the clock, but with their within their capability there, and a developing pairing together as well. Donatello, that little bit older as well, a couple of years more experience. She and that horse have looked really impressive over the last few weeks.
Yeah, very impressive. I'm sure she's going to be very happy. Jump double clear in a 5-star and a nice speedy jump off, but Goes to show how fast Ashley Bond really was, being almost over 6 seconds faster than that time.
Dare I say, hold on to your hats.
We'll get a good read now.
Yeah, Caracol de la Roque. We saw them fly around, he and I, last week as well to win a Grand Prix here in Traverse City. It's substantially bigger than it was then, but this pair certainly have the ability. The 11-year-old for, again, the Californian, Carl Cook.
There's the 6.
There it is.
Ashley did 8. Wow. Wow, he kicked the flag.
Slices at the turtle crate. Oh, he's coming at this so fast. Lands there in 20. 2 seconds up in theory.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Carl Cook bringing it home. A lot faster, a lot faster.
Oh my goodness, that was fast.
32.95 and a second and a half faster, and at this level, that is a big difference.
That's a huge difference. I mean, we couldn't believe how fast Ashley was. 32.95. That is blazing fast. I have to say, he did the 6 strides from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And it just kept the forward momentum going to the next jump. I think that was definitely the second and a half, 2 second difference.
Certainly did not let up anywhere there. Carl Cook has certainly landed the first punch on this group. Well, 32.95. Ashley Bond 34.35. Got 4 left to come in the jump off the American Grand Prix this year. Will it be going to the Californian or the man who originally hails from Chicago, Kent Farrington and Greyer? Again, I'm going to put it there. Little less experienced as a horse, 9-year-old horse.
I'm just still blown away by Carl's round. I don't think there's many horses ever to have the foot speed, but the stride that horse has, the ability to leave out strides, but to be able to do it so quickly as well.
So Ken Farrington, the world number 8, twice winner of the American Gold Cup now with Greyer, facing one of this pairing's biggest tests so far on the 9-year-old by Calestas. Twice a winner, as I say, with Gazelle. Different test with what's been set down, and again you're into a little bit here, I would guess, Michael, of I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and we'll see whether it's good enough.
I mean, I'm sure Ken saw him do 6 to 1 to 2. I don't know if that's an option for any other horse but that one, but we will see. There's the 7. That 7 also puts you on just an outside track to this oxer. Very neat, very tight roll back here. Defense number 15. See, can he get a gallop here?
He's moving, but he's adrift, and that's gone. You will say for them, for a less experienced horse, that's a really good effort.
Yeah, really good effort. That's just too bad off of that forward gallop. The horse just hit that front rail behind, and it's a learning experience for a younger combination in that 5-star Grand Prix. Oh, good effort there. That turn back on fence number 15 was so good.
Carl Cook keeps the lead then, and Ken Farrington going down into 5th place. Grant Sager and Frida, one of the biggest positions he's been in terms of these 5-star Grand Prix. This would be a career win if he could pull this one off against Carl Cook. The horse that was produced by Julien Epéa. That was Carl's Caracol de la Roque, so used to speed now for the Texan.
Does the 7 strides from 1 to 2, and he's got a good one here at the Lighthouse Oxer. Does send him out a little wider, though.
Yeah. Again, a few seconds. You feel that the rest are playing in a different competition now to Carl.
Just unbelievable what Carl just did. It wasn't too bad there. Had the front rail that Oxer down for Grant and Frida.
Home on 4, 37.66 for Grant Sager and Frida, so goes into 5th place. Still a good result. Top 5 so far in this year's American Gold Cup. Carl Cook, Ashley Bond, Chloe Rees, the top 3 at this stage. and leaving us 2 left to go. Colombia and then Ireland.
Okay, let's
They're
see.
not giving it
Roberto,
away yet.
Let's see him do the 6, 1-2. He's got the stride. Let's see. It puts you on that angle. I think he's got to try it.
Roberto Turan and his World Championship ride is Duff. Finished 4th here last year.
There it is. Got the 6. Doesn't have the foot speed as Caracol, but he's got to be quicker on the track. Unfortunately, he's getting stalled up here at this vertical. Keep galloping, Roberto.
You say it's one that could look a little bit deceptive. He's not up to Carl Cook's pace, but could again get a big slice of this year after finishing well. Top 5 last year too. Roberto and Desugtuf home with the clear, goes into 3rd place for Roberto on 38.31. But Carl Cook has really burned the rest of the field at the moment with just 1 left to come.
Wow.
You're shaking your head a lot.
I mean, Carl was 6 seconds faster than Roberto Turan, Chloe Reed, Richie Maloney, Grant Seeger, and Kent Farrington. 5 seconds faster than Kent Farrington in a jump off.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be quite as big a gap to this one if he can pull this off. He's the last to go here in the American Gold Cup presented by Great Lakes Sports Commission, and it's Daniel Coyle of Ireland. Won the qualifier earlier on this week on the winning team for the Irish at Spruce Meadows last week as well. Ariel Granger's Quintin. And he will go for it. Here we go.
Thought we were going to see the 6. He got there a little bit on the 7. A little bit too slow there, but quick to the lighthouse.
Daniel will be efficient.
Oh, he's such a quick rider. Look at him.
Now he's going.
Wow, that
now
was
he's going.
fast.
Chance it. Got it.
Oh, he got a good one in.
Go on. 32.95 to beat. Not going to beat that, but it's going to be a super round for Daniel Coyle and Quintin. 34.47 and puts him in 3rd for the Irishman. But it's going to be a win for Carl Cook and Caracol de la Roque here for the Americans to take the American Gold Cup. Daniel Coyle is going to finish in 3rd, pushes down there Roberto Turan to 4th, Chloe Reed top 5, Ashley Bonds in 2nd place to complete. But congratulations to Carl Cook. You have to say, Michael, he blew the rest away.
He blew them away. You could have put all the jumps down 4 holes and had everyone jump off, and they still would have been slower than him.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. And so, well, what a tremendous finish for Carl Cook, who finishes your winner with the American Gold Cup in his hands. And that's back-to-back Grand Prix wins for him as well here in Traverse City. And he won the 5-star Grand Prix here back in August as well. Ashley Bond, Donatello finishing in 2nd. Daniel Coyle of Ireland in 3rd with Quintin. Roberto Turan in 4th place, the Ndesugtov. And when you consider that was about 6 seconds difference to the winning ride, and they were certainly trying. Chloe Reed, top 5, another good one with crossover 4. Richie Maloney, previous winner in 2015 with Cocoa Beach, finishes in 6th place. And those on the 4, Grant Sager and Frida for the US. Kent Farrington in 8th place on the 4, and those from the 4 from round 1. Making up our top 10, Callie Schott and Garance and Margie Goldstiengel and Dikas further down the line. Top 12 completes with Ali Ramsey and Benita Dara Kenny taking 11th place in the end. Delaney Flynn and Julietta. Paul O'Shea from there with Emerald. And then on down to Alison Robitaille, Adrian Sternlich, Jacob Pope and Hallie Grimes to complete the top 20 of this year's American Gold Cup. And we're going to go and catch up with Carl, who's going to be in with Hannah any moment now as well, and should be pretty elated with that win to put his name for the very first time on this golden trophy. And so getting close to the presentations and finales of this year's American Gold Cup. Entertaining, to say the least. And Carl Cook, though, and that fairly new ride for them with Caracol, say former ride of Frenchman Julien Epéard has shown they have a completely different gear. Carl Cook wins the American Gold Cup in 2023, and he is with Hannah.
Well, Carl, what an unbelievable performance. You had everyone on the edge of their seats. Just tell me how that was for you.
Mildly terrifying, but it was amazing to ride.
What went through your mind? What was the strategy?
There's tons of fast riders. Ashley just went 34, and Ken and Daniel were coming up after me. And so I knew that I, had to go. My plan was to do 6 in the first line. I felt like I could make it. And then after that, it was just run them down. And she's so good, at speed. She's just right there with you the whole way. I left out a stride to the last, which I wasn't planning on, but thankfully it worked.
And talk to us about the horse, because it's not one that you've had for very long.
No, we bought her in December last year, and this year's been, a steady climb, a couple wobbles here and there, but this was our first 5-star together, and, after jumping clear in the first round, the jump-offs are just easier. So I felt comfortable after the first round, but I was quite stressed for the first round.
And I noticed that you saved the horse from the qualifier for this competition. Why did you do that? Why is this so special to you to win the American Gold Cup for the first time?
Well, yeah, I wanted her to be fresher. I showed her last week, did the Grand Prix, did the first round and jump off. And so Friday was just to get experience at a higher level. And I cared more about this than Friday, and there was 16 in the jump off. I really wanted things to be right for this class because that mattered more.
What does it mean to you to win the American Gold Cup?
Oh, it's something that you always look forward to and you always want to do, and ever since the first time I did it in 2019, it's one of those American Grand Prix you just want to win.
Well, Carl, we're going to take a look at your round. If you just take a look over at the screen, we're going to show your round there. Talk us through it. Talk us through what happened in there.
Yeah, well, to get 6 to fence 2, I had to come flying to fence 1 and then just accelerate. I actually got a little bit close to fence 2, but she's so sharp. And then run down the third fence, try to jump it straight because you're coming left after. You don't want to fly it too much. And then this angle, she had a little bit of a right drift. I had to move my right leg, which you can see there. And then, again, just accelerate, run down to fence 10. And you didn't want to turn immediately to the double because you would come in too quietly and the back rail would get too far away. And I really was happy with my turn, kicked her through. And then I just kept accelerating. Honestly, I wasn't planning 6, but it happened. And I'm happy it did.
Well, it was one of the most amazing jump-offs I have ever seen in my life. Huge congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're just going to get you to sign some caps for us, which we're going to give out to the crowd here in Traverse City. So let's just bring those over for you and ask you to sign those, which I'm sure will be something that many people in the crowd will be absolutely thrilled to have. Thank you so much. Well, there we have it then. What a competition in the American Gold Cup 2023. Carl Cook, hugely well-deserved win for him. First win in this competition of his career. And what a horse, what a jump-off performance. Carl, I just don't know how you did that.
I don't either.
Thank you so much. Well, 32 riders came forward in the American Gold Cup. 8 went through to the jump-off, but there can, of course, be only one winner, and that man is Carl Cook, bringing home the win in the American Gold Cup to America once again. Outstanding horse and an outstanding rider. We now go to a presentation for the raffle draw.
Super result for Carl Cook to complete the day, and say there's been a lot going on here in Traverse City, and a donation to Accelerate the Care, $6,900 going in their direction, and there's been the charity ticket program throughout the season here in Traverse City, and donating the ticket money from those spectators attending here has been a great contributor to a long list of charities over this season, and $6,900 going to Accelerate the Care, and the board of Accelerate the Care are receiving that check now. And also there's going to be a draw for the raffle that was to win a Ford Mustang, a classic Mustang as well, and they're going to be drawing that to see who drives off with that. Just 300 tickets for that, and that's hopefully raised lots of money as well for Accelerate the Care 2. So congratulations to whoever wins that as well.
Well, join us in supporting Accelerate the Care, which is an organisation devoted to supporting the Alzheimer's community in northern Michigan, providing education for caregivers, aiding through direct funding and offering extra support to those affected by this devastating disease. We do have the raffle draw to do now. Of course, we have a good number of tickets that have been purchased for this, but I'm going to hand over to you to draw this winning ticket. A golden casket for the raffle tickets, of course, for the American Gold Cup Day. Very secretive, the number of the tickets. So the winner is Olivia Broder. Congratulations to Olivia, winner of this fantastic competition. Congratulations.
Okay, she's not on my list. Is she on y'all's list? First, going to tell y'all where Olivia's from. That is a horse show person. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is she here? I think they might be here.
Where's, you know where the hat giveaway is? I don't know what I can carry. We're not in control of this.
And in we come for the presentation of this year's American Gold Cup. Our top three, congratulations to them, to Daniel Coyle and Ariel Granger's Quinton, finishing in third place. And also to be representing our sponsors here, the Great Lakes Sport Commission, Executive Director Eric Marvin to present, alongside our team here of the partners here of Traverse City. To our top three, second place to Ashley Bonds and Donatello 141. And there we see in the background Carl Cook hovering, waiting to get his hands on the trophy here this year. There, Ashley Bonds. Photos are with her.
Representing Israel, currently number 44 in the world standings and the owner of her mountain.
And so she finishes in second with Donatello. Gave it a terrific run, but not just quite enough from that point of view. Michael Morrissey alongside me. Michael, I mean, Donatello at full speed couldn't hold Carl Cook and Caracol.
No, not at all. And I think Ashley came out of the ring thinking that she definitely had a chance. She was quick. I think in any other Grand Prix she definitely would have had a chance, but it just shows you how special Caracol and Carl are together. That was just an unbelievable jump off and an unbelievable result for them.
Carl Cook comes forward, and in just a few minutes he'll receive the American Gold Cup, but a photo with our sponsors first. Congratulations to Carl. And I know he'll be delighted with that. As I say, it follows on for a win in the Grand Prix. But he was definitely, Michael, a man with a plan.
He had a plan. He executed it perfectly, and obviously that horse is just the foot speed, the carefulness, everything. The horse is special animal.
But the other thing is there, you realise what an adrenaline rush it is for the riders as well, because he said that was terrifying.
Terrifying, huh? Yeah, you're going pretty fast, and at that speed, you make a mistake. It can be terrifying.
Yeah, well, he didn't make a mistake. He was foot perfect all the way, and the winning rider. Congratulations to Carl Cook, winner of the American Gold Cup this year. Second place to Ashley Bond and Donatello, and third after a terrific week. He's nursing an injury as well. He's doing very well. Is Daniel Coyle and Quintin, but Carl Cook, no mistaking, who is the winner of the American Gold Cup this year. He's going to receive that trophy in just a second. But Caracol de la Roque, speedy at everything.
Yeah, I think she's doing the fastest victory gallop of any horse ever, too.
He's going to wind them down now.
Yep, the others have given up.
And so heading down to the podium for our top three.
Our top three, hosted by the podium. And again, we have Eric Marvin, Executive Director of the Great Lakes Sports Commission, presenting to our top three riders in the 53rd.
And here we are, our top three for the presentation of this Great Lakes Sports Commission American Gold Cup. And in third place, well done to Daniel Coyle and Quintin. Matthew and Michael Morrissey Sr. presenting there on behalf of Traverse City. Second place going to Ashley Bonds and Donatello 141. In white of Major League. And so the winner of this year's American Gold Cup, and a convincing winner indeed. It is very well done to Carl Cook and Sydney Osby's Caracol de la Roque. Different league this time around as well, Michael.
Completely different league, but I mean, that was an exciting show jumping. Congratulations to Carl Cook and his super mare Caracol.
Super stuff from Carl, and to put his name on that list of winners of the American Gold Cup over the years, as we say. Over 50 years of history to this event. We marked the 50th anniversary here not too long ago here in Traverse City.
I have to say that you look at that podium and it's all speed on that podium.
It is all speed. It does come apart. There we go. Lifts aloft the American Gold Cup for 2023. Well done to California's Carl Cook. A delighted Carl. Adds on to that illustrious list. And now the national anthem of our winning rider, which of course be the United States of America. Well done, and it is another US name on the American Gold Cup. We'll just move it out of the way because it's going to be champagne time for our top 3 in this year's events. There we go. I can see Ashley Bond saying, come to me first, give me half a chance. There we go, Carl Cook getting sodden alongside Daniel Coyle. Daniel's got wet a few times this week and he doesn't mind it at all. She's I love you back, just plenty of times. She's got the quick slurp of the fizz. Well done to our leading 3 in this year's American Gold Cup class. And super stuff, and it'll of course add into the seating standings for the Major League individual title as well. We're going to take a look at that and see how that affects things in 2023. Oh, he's going to drink a little champagne out of that.
That's the only way to do it.
It's going to taste
right
polish.
Right out of the trophy. Taste of polish.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
I think it tastes great right now, whatever it tastes like.
Oh, what a waste. Oh dear. Well done, Carl. Congratulations to him. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the season standings in a second. And there, Carl with the trophy. So let's take a look at that after Carl Cook wins the class here in Traverse City. Carl Cook is top of the individual season standings so far. Lily Keenan in second. Ken Farrington now in third place in 18, but Carl Cook 10 points ahead. Shane Sweetnam after that. And Tiffany Foster, top 5 of those of the individuals for this year's Major League Show Jumping Series as well. So well done to them at this point. We're only at the halfway stage though, and still a long way to go until we head to California for the final leg. And so that brings us to a close here from the American Gold Cup this year. My thanks to Michael Morrissey and to Hannah and to all the team behind the scenes here. Produced a wonderful event under blue skies. Michael, we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Stephen.
And to all of you at home, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you down the road. Next stop for Major League Show Jumping will be in Greenwich, Connecticut. See you then.